help, Todd, that you have a team that comes in here that'll be every bit as hungry as you guys were?
Yeah, they will be. And that was my message to the group out on the ice. Don't be fooled by the record. I've watched a couple of their games. I watched their game in Edmonton. It was a game that they probably should have won. And in talking with one of their assistant coaches, he feels that they've played pretty well, and they've been on the wrong side of a couple games, which is similar. I feel we're in a bit of a similar situation here with the Montreal and Detroit game. But our record is what it is. The record is what it is, and based on that creates some desperation.
You told us the other day about the importance of having your third and fourth line guys bring that energy, and I think they did that the other night. I would imagine that that's a scenario that you need to have repeated, not just tonight, but really throughout.
We do, and it did start with Mackenzie, Letestu, and Bowl. There were a couple shifts where they got in and were physical, and you could hear it in the crowd. It started to get some energy into the building. So we have to do that, but we need it from our other lines, all of our lines, because I think everyone, Dubinsky and Jenner and Atkinson can play a fast game and a heavy game, and you got Gabrick and Anisimov and Foligno, and they can do it. And I thought Johansson, that line was great last game, and they can do it. But I think it's more than that. I think our line changes have to be better. I think our shift length has to be better. And if we're able to do that and change as a group, I think we're going to have more energy in the building, because we're going to be playing as a group of three instead of sometimes we're trying to forecheck as one, forecheck as two, because we aren't executing that part of the game well enough.
Todd, you mentioned the crowd. This building probably roared as it hasn't all season when Umberger scored Sunday. Was that maybe a moment that could help get things going here at home?
We'll find out. I thought another moment was McElhaney's save with 48 seconds to go. I mean, there were a couple, big plays in the game. To me, that stand out. And obviously, those are two major ones. But we had other little plays throughout the game that I think helped. Gave us some confidence going into the third period. Gave us some confidence, to close out the game. But again, it's a new day. It's a new game, and the one thing I've learned last season and all my years in the NHL, there's no gimme games, and we got to be ready for this one tonight.
Todd, are you liking life in the Eastern Conference so far? Is it an easy adjustment for your team?
I don't know if it's been easier. The one thing that we're trying to figure out still is I think difference in play. We came home and played against a Vancouver team, and I know it's a new coach, and some of the systems are different. But I think based on having played the team and knowing the players more, I think it was easier for our players to play the game.
But they don't know you either, right?
Vancouver did.
Oh,
but I'm talking about now playing the East, and you are right. Some of the teams don't know us as well. But there's a bigger adjustment for us because we're one team playing against a lot of different teams, where there's a lot of different teams just playing against one team and trying to figure us out. They're still familiar with a lot of teams that are still in the conference. So I think there is a bigger adjustment for us. But as far as the travel, obviously that's better. That's better for our fans that they can follow our team. And I still think that there will be a bit of an adjustment for us as we go forward.
Bobrovsky wasn't content with how he played the first 7 games. What have you seen from him?
A lot of things look real similar to me, in his style and in his game. I can't stand here in front of you and say, well, this looks different or that looks different. He looks like he prepares the same. He's focused. He's got the same energy. He's the way he prepares himself. All of those things are the same. I think he's just off by just a little bit, just a margin. And a couple of the goals or a few of the goals that have gone in on him, are things that we haven't seen in him in a long, long time. So I think that catches you off guard, and then everyone thinks something's wrong. But we can go back to the Montreal game in the first 10 minutes of that game. I don't know if it was 1-0 or 2-0, but it could have been 4 or 5-0. And he made some great saves for us, and he really kept us in it and allowed us to get back into the game. So, even though we've been on the wrong side of some of these games, and maybe there's a couple goals that he would like to have back, that people might consider soft, he still throughout the game has made some real good saves, and his game has been pretty solid.
No James Wisniewski this morning?
He wasn't feeling great, so we sent him home, and he'll be a game time decision.